honeymoon is over for President Cyril Ramaphosa. For years, the ANC has hidden behind the word non-aligned, pretending neutrality while doing quiet deals with Moscow, Beijing, and every regime that funds its very own survival. But now President Donald Trump is back, and this time his economic chainsaw is aimed straight at the union buildings. From the White House to the union buildings. You can't script this, the stories write themselves. The world is changing fast. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the US and its allies drew a line in the sand. You can't fund aggression and call yourself neutral. Yet, what did the ANC do? You're probably wondering. Well, I'm joking. You're not, because you know what they did. It invited Russian warships to our waters, i.e. Lady R that docked in Simonstown. It also hosted Lavrov in Pretoria. It even flirted with the idea of buying discounted Russian oil while calling it strategic diversification. India, Japan, and other countries have recently faced US pressure too, but they had the economic weight and diplomatic discipline to navigate those tricky waters. South Africa, on the other hand, has only corruption, weak leaders, and tyrants who are just sensational. And now that's coming home to bite. Or should I say, the chickens are coming home to roost. December 2022, the Lady R docks quietly at Simonstown. A sanctioned Russian ship. US intelligence believes weapons were loaded. The ANC calls it routine cargo. And we'll remember, because I discussed this in one of the last videos, regarding Persian oil and regarding Brigitte, who had raised this, and people like Malema came out to say it was not true. But the moment that just broke trust, it showed Washington that Pretoria's loyalty isn't to principle, it's to whoever props up its failing regime. It's to whoever can keep the Gucci's and the pointy shoes going. And make no mistake, in Washington, that betrayal hasn't been forgotten. When Trump looks at South Africa, he doesn't see a partner in the global South. He sees a corrupt government protecting Russian interests while living off American trade benefits. You will just remember that the US just said they will give South Africa $120 million in aid, actually. So, in a way, Trump really does care about us, but not about the government. Under Trump, the message is simple. Play with Putin, pay the price. That's why the tariffs are back. 30% on South African exports. That's why our AGOA privileges have been scrapped as of last month. And that is why Trump is threatening to use economic sanctions on us if we buy oil from the Russians. Trump is using economic power to say what sleepy Biden couldn't, which is Ramaphosa, stop funding Moscow's war or we'll stop funding your economy. Ramaphosa's defenders say cheap Russian oil will lower petrol prices because, Russia does not trade according to the oil crude price. Just trades at whatever and it will sell you. So similar to what Libya did when Gaddafi said, I can sell my gold at whatever price. But the trick is, that's a lie. Because South Africa has no refineries ready for Russian crude, no stable logistics, and no real sanctions immunity because every company is just leaving and America and the West are not our friends. What's really happening is that the ANC wants to trade with Russia to escape accountability, not to save you money at the pump. That's why petrol is still above 25 Rand a litre, while ministers fly in luxury jets. while they wear pointy shoes and drive in German sedans paid for with our taxes. The only thing cheap here is their excuses. Now, Trump's so-called chainsaw isn't about punishing South Africans. It's about cutting out the rot. Hence, you'll remember he cut things such as PEPFAR and US aid. For too long, the ANC has used global sympathy and Mandela's name, as well as liberation history, as a shield against scrutiny. But the new America doesn't buy that old cock and bull story. If you want US trade access, you respect global law. If you want dollar trade, you don't launder it through Moscow. If you want stability, you pick democracy, not dictators. The rules of the game are extremely simple, but somehow the ANC just keep getting them wrong. Now, every South African should understand this, and that is when Trump swings that chainsaw, it's not against you. It's against the corruption that keeps your petrol prices expensive, your rand weak, and your government beholden to Russian oligarchs instead of its own citizens. That is what the Trump chainsaw will prevent. The ANC choose ideology over economics, loyalty to Moscow over opportunity with Washington, a country where we've got a trade surplus versus these left-leaning Eastern dictatorship states in the East that we've shared trade deficits with that run into the billions of dollars. And now the bill has arrived. Trump's America is throwing a hard line, and South Africa's government is on the wrong side of it. Ramaphosa has two options: choose reform, transparency, and Western partnerships, or watch as Trump's economic chainsaw cuts through what's left of the ANC's false stability. Because in the end, America doesn't punish nations, it punishes corruption, it punishes tyrants, it punishes terrorists, it punishes those that are anti-democracy. And Cyril Ramaphosa just happens to be standing in the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy our content, please do make sure to click on that subscribe button. It really helps in growing the numbers that we reach, as well as that's the least you could do. You can also support us by signing up for membership or buying a coffee in the super chats below. This is Kuhle Maseko reminding you that real sovereignty begins with accountability, not alliance, as well as not with tyrants. And I'd also like to apologize for not uploading a video in the last 2 days. I've been going through a lot lately, especially in my personal life and my personal relationship. Yeah, and so that is one of the reasons I've not been able to, but I hope that you guys are not disappointed. Until next time, stay safe and shalom.